Hey guys, and welcome back to another doll customizing video. In today's video, I will be showing you how I made this alien angel doll. I didn't have an idea for this doll in the beginning of the project, but I had bought this item that I knew I wanted to use, so I decided to make a doll surrounding that object. This doll was very much trial and error and seeing what I liked and didn't like. So let's go ahead and get started. The item that I really wanted to use to customize the doll is this pair of wings. I bought a 2-pack of them at Joann Fabrics a while ago, but I didn't really have a purpose to use them, but I really like them, so I really wanted to use them. So I decided to create a doll using that pair of wings, and I decided to use this CA Cupid Ever After High doll. I decided to stick with pinks, purples, and teals for this doll, so since CA Cupid's hair was pretty controllable and it wasn't too greasy and stuff, I decided to use her as a base. And here I am wiping her factory face using 100% acetone and some Q-tips. So of course I start by spraying a layer of MSC onto the doll's face, and then I go in with a soft brush to add pinks to her cheeks, forehead, and nose. Next I go in with a red watercolor pencil to outline the shape of her lips, and I started with a red, but at the end I decided to go to pink because I didn't want too many colors on her face since I still was planning on a pink, purple, and teal color scheme. Next, I take this light brown watercolor pencil to draw on her top eyeliner and a slight wing. Again, this is the usual process I go through when customizing dolls, and if you want more examples, feel free to check out my other videos. Next, I take a pink watercolor pencil to draw in her waterline and the center corner of her eyes. Next, I take a light brown watercolor pencil to outline the pupil in her eye. I hadn't decided on an eye color at this point yet, and I was thinking brown, but I realized I had just done a brown eye tutorial for Reese, so I decided to do something different. Since I was still debating on the eye color, I decided to go ahead and fill in the whites of her eyes using a white watercolor pencil and add the eye shine to the pupil. Next, I take the same light brown watercolor pencil that I used for the eyeliner to add her eyelashes. This is usually how I have to do the top lashes on the left side of the doll's face because I am right-handed and it's hard to get that angle on the left side. Next, I take a dark pink pastel to gently outline the shape of her eyebrows. Using pastels to gently show the placement of the eyebrows helps me a lot because then if I go in with a watercolor pencil right from the beginning, it's kind of hard to erase the lines, especially if it's a dark color like a dark brown. Next, I take a darker shade of pink watercolor pencil to darken the outside of her eyebrows. I think at this point I had decided to do her pupils as a light brown and green combo, so I took this darker brown watercolor pencil for her eyeliner and eyelashes because I didn't want the brown in her pupil to mix in with the eyeliner. I decided to skip over me filling in the pupil because I had just made a more in-depth tutorial in my Reese video, so if you want to see how I fill in my doll's pupils, feel free to go check out that video. Here I'm taking a dark green watercolor pencil to refill in the bottom part of her pupil because I didn't really like how it looked. It looked fine on camera, but in person I personally did not really like it, and here I am reapplying the whites of her eyes. Next I take a light brown watercolor pencil to draw in the corner of her lips. And at this point I needed the battery in my camera to charge, but I didn't want to slow down the process, so I decided to go ahead and add the left side eyelashes and a few highlights, and also the crease in her eyes alongside a yellow eyeshadow. At this point I'm pretty much done adding all the colors I'm going to use in the doll's face up, so the next step is pretty much to darken all the dark colors and lighten all the light colors and just really saturate any of the bright colors that I really want to pop. Here I'm showing you how I added a white highlight to the left side of her eyelashes, and I do go to the right side and add the same highlight, but I just wanted to show you this because I think it really takes a face up to the next level, just adding this extra step. I also decided to darken the brown in her pupil because it looked a little too soft in my opinion. I really like dark saturated eye colors, and I think the dark brown really helped with that. Next I take this Pearl X powder to add glitter to her face, and I use Liquitex gloss varnish to add shine to the waterline of her eyes and her lips. This is her face up pretty much complete, so next it's on to her outfit. As I was doing the face up, I had an idea of the dress I wanted to make for her, and I decided to use this tool to make her a see-through long dress. And I also take this Madeline Hatter dress to use as a base underneath the tulle one. Here is the tulle dress complete. I followed the same process I normally do for my dresses, except in this case it was kind of hard to sew down the seams, so I decided just to use Fabri-Tac glue. Like I said in the beginning of the video, this doll was definitely trial and error. I had actually made this cape for her to wear, but it covered up too much of the tulle dress, and I wanted the tulle dress to kind of stand out, so I decided not to use that. And I also made this little vest, but it kind of looked weird with the tulle sleeves, so I decided to skip that too. In the end, I decided to go with this belt that I made using two different ribbons because the ribbon added a little bit more layers to the dress, and the purple matched kind of the iridescent look in the wings. And here I'm showing you how the belt looks on the dress with the base dress and the tulle dress, and I think it looks really cute. I really enjoyed making this dress just because I've never made something like this, and I actually really like these dresses in real life where it's a see-through lace or tulle on top of a solid dress. For her hair, I decided to keep it simple and keep her bangs pretty straight and put her hair into a bun with the same ribbon I used for her belt. For her accessories, I decided to repaint them using these acrylic paints, and at the end, I don't think I ended up using the light blue. For her shoes, I was debating between these two pairs, and in the end, I decided to go with the left pair because I thought it made more sense based on the outfit. This is getting really in-depth with how clothing looks, but in my mind, I thought if you were wearing the dress that this doll was wearing, you'd want to make your legs look longer, and I felt like the straps on the other shoes would make her look shorter. And I know that sounds really weird because she's a doll, but that was a process in my mind. I decided to keep the shoes pretty simple, and I wanted to paint the base coat white and the back and the heel part of her shoe using pink. For the keychain or button or accessory that I wanted for this doll, I couldn't find any that I liked, so I decided to use these shrink-it-ink sheets, and here I'm showing you the ones that I've made in the past. I've made a few of these in the past, so here I'm showing you this rainbow dash that I made and a few other ones. These things shrink down a lot, so I had to keep that in mind when I was deciding what to make her. Ultimately, I decided to trace the wings that I used for this doll because I thought they were the perfect size and the perfect shape for a little keychain on a glass bottle purse that I wanted to make for her. So after I cut out the shape of the wings, I hole punched it so I could loop it through a keychain and hang it on the purse. While the shrink-it-ink sheet was melting in the oven, it actually broke when I tried to re-flatten it, but since I left it in there for a little bit longer, it managed to fuse back together, so problem solved. Using the same shrink-it-ink sheets, except I didn't bake it, I made these little wings for the back of her shoes. I think I've shown quite a bit of these tutorials where I make these glass charm purse bottles for my dolls, so if you want a few more examples, feel free to check out my other videos, but here I'm showing you the one I made for this alien angel doll, and I just realized that I've been calling her an alien angel doll, but I don't think you've seen exactly why I called her that. It was pretty much a last minute detail that I thought it made her look like a little alien. So I'm filling up the glass bottle using this pink and white holographic glitter flakes and some iridescent beads. I'm also taking a small circle of the glitter tool that I used for her dress to add a little bit more detail to the glass bottle purse keychain. So here is the bottle all filled up with the glitter flakes and beads, and next I take the tool and kind of smush it in between the bottle and the little cork. And with this accessory all done, I am pretty much done with the doll, so here are some final photos. This doll was pretty trial and error, like I said throughout the video, but I think she turned out really great. I didn't mention the little cuff accessories that I repainted too, but thought the sleeves were pretty empty, so I wanted to add a little bit more detail. And for her earrings, I added the same iridescent beads. And for the alien angel part, as you can see, I added these little antennas. These antennas were a last minute detail, but I found these at Joann's and I really wanted to use them like the wings, so I thought it would fit in with this theme. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial. This doll was a little bit selfish on my part in that I wanted to use these wings really badly, so thank you guys for letting me do that, and I hope you're excited for a few Halloween dolls in the future. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe. Bye guys!